start.
Welcome, members of the Fitbit Board of Directors. It is great to have you here today. My name is Andy Cocker, and I'm a part of the consultant team you hired from the University of St. Thomas. Alongside me is Jake Knovick, as well as Brooke Babineau. And today we're going to discuss with you the issue that Fitbit is facing today.
First, we're going to tell you a little story about Phil here. Phil's New Year's resolution was to lose weight and live an overall healthier lifestyle. In order to do this in the optimal way, he wanted to do his due diligence and look for a product that would monitor his heart rate. So Phil found on your website the Charge HR product with Pure Pulse technology. Phil was so excited to order this because he saw that this technology was compared to medical grade EKG and chest straps. So he got his product, and after a while he heard that there was a lawsuit filed against Fitbit because there were inaccurate claims about their products. The problem here is that your advertising and marketing is being misinterpreted by consumers, and this has led to a decrease in product sales and a loss of consumer trust.
With the problem at hand, and to minimize business and legal risks, as well as provide the most ethically sound decision for Fitbit, we believe that you must devise and revise the way that you market and advertise your Pure Pulse technology products in a way that states the capabilities of your products clearly, while also scaling up the research and development of the Pure Pulse technology. Today, we're going to be walking you through the plan that we've created for you to get back on your feet and get back to the position you were in before the lawsuit. First, we're going to take you through a little bit of background so everybody's on the same page moving forward. I'll then take you through the business perspective, which you can kind of think of as the dollars and cents type of the situation, followed by Brooke speaking about the legal case and the legal perspective, kind of showing you the major legal risks that you're currently facing, as well as kind of an example might be an express warranty and how it's related to your marketing and advertising that we spoke about previously. Then, Andy will take you through the business ethics framework that we've devised to be able to bring you to the most ethically sound decision and bring you back to regaining trust with consumers. Finally, a recommendation will be comprised of the three perspectives put together to be able to provide to you the best decision, minimizing the legal and business risks and giving you the most ethically sound decision possible.
Looking at the background, as you're well aware, the two products in question are Fitbit Surge as well as the Fitbit Charge HR. These are the two original products that were given the Pure Pulse technology, the technology that reads heart rate. Here we have a diagram representing the study done by California State University, Polytechnic University, in which they tested various wearable products that monitor the heart rate. Of course, they looked at the EKG, the most reliable of them all, as well as various competitors such as Apple, Samsung, or Garmin. They fell in the middle, and unfortunately, your product Fitbit has fallen towards the bottom, with most least accurate being as much as 20 beats per minute when performing high intensity exercises.
Thank you very much, Andy. And I will take you through the business perspective here. To begin, we recognize that you're the market leader in the wearables industry and you provide many products to the consumers. So we want to ask you the question, why are people buying your products rather than competing products? This being said, we recognize that your company goal is to provide a well-functioning product in a highly competitive and growing environment, pleasing and meeting the needs of all stakeholders involved. With the stakeholders in this situation, your company is clearly one of the major stakeholders, as well as the key decision maker in what's to happen next with the company. Alongside Fitbit would be the consumers of your product, as well as society as a whole. Who are we talking about when we say society as a whole? We are basically alluding to the fact that businesses aren't just stuck in a vacuum, and it's really part of a larger picture when Fitbit is providing these products to consumers to be able to look at the needs and the wants of everybody considered in the situation. With your new Pure Pulse technology, you're clearly the market leader and you have a competitive advantage over many of the other firms hoping to compete and reap the benefits of providing heart rate monitoring technologies to the end consumer. With the target market of weight loss hopefuls, athletes, and the average Joe, we believe that your opportunity for growth and profit is endless with the resources and the technology that you acquire. And finally, your consumers, and in their eyes, you have an incredible reputation for innovation, and we believe that your company is paving the way for people to be able to track their health and wellness with the products that we provide. As you're all aware, there's been a lawsuit filed against your company regarding the accuracy and the performance of your Pure Pulse technology products. This has taken a toll on your business, both reputationally and financially. Here we can see a visual of your stock price the day before, the day after, and the current price. The day before the lawsuit, your stock price was at $29.76. Just the day after the lawsuit, it was down $5 from that price at a share price of $24.30. Looking at today, we can see that the stock price is now a fraction of what it used to be, which is led and correlated with a decline in sales and clearly a decline in the share price of your company. Shareholders are currently sitting on the sidelines waiting for the events surrounding the case to unfold, and your consumers are skeptical of the products, leading to a decline in credibility of both your company and your products at hand. This may be seen by your competitors as an opportunity to grow their market share, as much of the negativity in the wearable space is surrounding your company with the lawsuit that has been filed. With that, we will be providing you the best possible business decision to be able to restore and regain the trust of consumers, as well as regain the trust of the shareholders and have them be able to make a profitable investment. To stay competitive with the products and stay profitable with the Pure Pulse technology, we believe that the best decision for your company is to revise the marketing and advertising surrounding the Pure Pulse technology products and what the capabilities they have to do, as well as increase the research and development of this technology. We believe this is going to be a big differentiator in the market, and it'll show many of the consumers that you do care about what the product does for them, and you also care about how this relates to the shareholders as well. Next, Brooke is going to take you through the legal perspective of your current situation.
Thank you, Jake. In the situation you currently find yourselves in, there are two major legal risks. The first is express warranties, and the second is deceptive acts and practices. As you know, there has been a major lawsuit filed against you because there has been misinterpretation with your consumers from marketing and advertising. First major legal risk is an express warranty, which is essentially a promise. Fitbit creates express warranties by making marketing representations concerning the quality, condition, description, and performance potential of the Pure Pulse technology. These are found in all of your marketing materials, and although it may be dormant in this, you are making a promise and communicating to consumers that this is what your products will do. All right, we pulled something from your website. Here's an example. Stating best practices for Pure Pulse accuracy is telling consumers that your product can and will be accurate. During workouts and beyond is telling consumers that this product is intended to use during workouts with high heart rates. And then comparing it to a chest strap is saying that the Pure Pulse technology will have the same degree of accuracy as a medical grade chest strap. Second major legal risk is deceptive practices. These lead to misled consumers. This declares an act or practice as deceptive where a representation, practice, or exclusion misleads or is likely to mislead a consumer, and a consumer's interpretation of these is considered reasonable under the circumstances. Another example, here it says in clinical settings, researchers were using electrocardiograms or EKGs, which cost around $5,000. Athletes and weight loss hopefuls, again, you're telling your products that you're supposed to be using this device while you're active, while you have a high heart rate, and then saying they were using these $5,000 chest straps is definitely deceptive, saying that this medical grade device that's so expensive is just, this Pure Pulse technology is just as accurate. So in order to minimize legal risks, our recommendation is to eliminate any comparisons in general with your Pure Pulse technology and a medical grade device. So this will alter your marketing and advertising, but it will eliminate any problems with express warranties or deceptive acts and practices in the future. With that, I will have Andy take you through the ethical perspective.
Thanks, Brooke.
Yes.
So looking at ethics, first, the primary ethical issue here is whether or not Fitbit's advertising and marketing are misrepresenting the products of which you are selling, that include the Pure Pulse technologies, and whether or not the consumers have enough information to make a knowledgeable purchase, as well as the shareholders that can make a sound investment. As Jake mentioned, the stakeholders in this case are is Fitbit, you guys in the company, as well as the consumers and society as a whole. When looking at the ethical perspective, we devised a business ethics framework in looking at 4 aspects, including interests, rights, duties, and virtues. With each one, we will share with you a decision regarding each individual aspect that will then combine to be the overall ethical decision. When looking at interests, we're simply looking at what can be done that will provide the greatest good for the greatest number of people. Another example of this would be, I'm sure you're aware of a cost-benefit analysis. And so we'll be walking through the costs and benefits of each individual stakeholder. First, looking at Fitbit, obviously, as a company, you're looking to be profitable. You're in a very competitive marketplace, going up against companies such as Apple, Samsung, Garmin, as well as various other companies in the wearable market. In doing and keeping competitive, it's important that you have effective marketing and that you can do whatever you can to catch the consumer's eye that draws them to your product. Looking at the consumer, they obviously would like to have a quality product, a functioning product as advertised to them, so that many of them are weight loss hopeful, so they hope that the Fitbit will help them reach their health goals. Looking at society as a whole, they are interested in having healthy citizens. They want their citizens to feel that they can buy this product and meet their health goals, while also having economic quality. Looking at interests, we believe that the greatest good can be done for the greatest number, and if in that Fitbit continues to stay on the same track that they're doing, provide the same marketing strategies and advertisements that has made you the successful leader that you are today in the marketplace. As for rights, the overarching rights in this, as humans, is that humans have the right to life as well as the right to choose, and we'll be touching on specifically the right to choose. Looking at Fitbit, it's your company, it's your choice of how you would like to run your company as well as how you would like to advertise your products. For the consumers, it is their right to full information. Now, like I said, it's a very competitive market, there's lots of products to choose from, so they need to have as much information as they can so that they can make a knowledgeable purchase. And looking at society, it is their right to protect their citizens from harm, be that physical, emotional, or financial, as well as promoting fairness within the marketplace amongst companies. Adding all these up and looking at our rights-based decision, we do believe that Fitbit should actually revise the way that they are marketing and advertising their products and giving the consumers more information, full information concerning the product's capabilities and performance. Now, looking at duties, there's certain moral responsibilities that are to be had here between all stakeholders, including loyalty and trust, as well as promises made in this issue. Looking at Fitbit, it is their duty to avoid dispersing any sort of product that may cause harm to their consumers, as well as upholding social responsibility, as well as consumers. Again, there is a very competitive market, and so it's up to the consumer to do their homework, do their due diligence, and understand the product they are buying and the limitations they may have, as well as its just overall capabilities and performance. And looking at society, again, they have a moral responsibility to protecting their consumers, as well as promoting fairness in the marketplace. But adding all these up, we found that, again, we do believe that the best decision when looking at duties is that Fitbit does indeed change the way they are marketing their products to the consumers. Now, when looking at virtues, we'll be looking at the character of Fitbit as well as their habits and culture. We found a list of relevant virtues here. However, we found that in looking at these various virtues, they actually conflict with each other. when looking at temperance and prudence, we believe, or that would suggest that Fitbit should continue business as usual, continue to do the successful marketing and advertising that has made them the market share leader that they are today. However, looking at honesty, courage, and fairness, it would suggest that Fitbit does indeed revise and change the way that they are marketing their products. And looking at that, weighing these virtues, we found that being honest, Fitbit's being honest, and Fitbit's being honest in stating their product's limitations and capabilities. It is a courageous choice to change the marketing, and it's all overall fair to the marketplace. So adding all these up together, all these aspects into one ethical decision, we do believe that that Fitbit should indeed revise and change the way that they are promoting their products and their marketing. And in doing so, Fitbit will be protecting the consumer's right to choice, as well as Fitbit will be fulfilling their duty to protect consumers and society from harm. And in doing so, it will provide honesty and a courageous choice and regain trust that has been lost.
Before we provide the integrated recommendation, we just wanted to recap each perspective's recommendation that we made previously today. As you might recall, in the business perspective, we believe that your company, Fitbit, should increase the research and development of your Pure Pulse technology, as well as stating and revising the marketing and advertising of your products so that it clearly states the capabilities of what they are able to do.
And in order to minimize legal risks such as express warranties and deceptive acts and practices, we recommend that you alter your advertising and marketing so that you don't compare your Pure Pulse technology to any medical grade device.
And again, looking at the ethical perspective, in changing Fitbit's marketing and advertising, Fitbit will be protecting the consumer's right to choice. Fitbit will be fulfilling their duty to prevent any harm coming to the consumers or shareholders, and as well as providing overall honesty and building trust with the consumers and shareholders.
And as you might have guessed, with the three recommendations we made from each perspective, our final recommendation to you, as we stated earlier, would be to revise the marketing and advertising of these Pure Pulse technology products, while also increasing the research and development of your technology. Thank you very much for your time today, and now we'll open it up to any questions that you might have for us.
Thank you. Just give me a second to figure out how to turn this thing off.
Sure.
There we go. Okay, so I didn't understand something you just told us about our values as a company. You said that the temperance and prudence suggested that we not change what we're doing. I didn't understand that. Explain that to me.
Sure. Well, in being temperate, we believe that Fitbit would be holding true to what they are and that being competitive, while also keeping in mind the consumer's needs and that they can get the products out to them. And continue in doing that, they would continue to do the marketing of what has made them successful. And in being prudent, it would provide for an overall long-term answer for the company. Hope that answers your question.
Are those bad things to be temperate and prudent?
Not necessarily, but we believe that honesty, courage, and fairness outweigh those, and that Fitbit wants to be an honest company. If you're not an honest company, we have a hard time believing that consumers would like to buy from a company that only has their mind on the profits and pleasing their shareholders. We believe that being an honest company and stating any limitations and owning up to that and being courageous would provide for an overall better, virtuous choice.
Is heart rate monitoring the only reason people buy a Fitbit?
No. A lot of people actually buy these devices just to track general health and wellness, step trackers, calorie burn, among many other things. So the Pure Pulse technology that you have created for the market, it was brand new in 2015, and it was the first of its kind. And it's been there's consumers have been skeptical in the market of the heart rate monitoring technology, not just from your technology, but across the board. And when the lawsuit fell in your lap, it's really clearly hurt you as a company. But it's been a competitive advantage because people are able to monitor their heart rate during intense physical activity. And the way it's been stated, many of the consumers have flocked to your devices, and you've become the market leader in the space because you have the Pure Pulse technology.
But it's only accurate to within 20 beats a minute. So should we put a little asterisk, monitor your heart rate with the 60% confidence interval in parentheses? Or?
Right, and that's the problem that we're running into, helping you figure out what's the best way to move forward without giving away your trade secrets, things along those lines, but also staying competitive and not just flat out saying that it is going to be somewhat inaccurate when compared to a chest strap, which is why we did make the recommendation that maybe not state that it's close to an EKG or the chest strap as you have in the past, but rather kind of shy away from that, increase the research and development to be able to show that you are increasing the accuracy, although it is not regulated by the FDA, and you have stated it is not a medical device.
Is it inaccurate for all users and all use cases, or is only certain people that have it adjusted too loosely or are doing a certain thing where it's inaccurate?
There are practices, which in one of my examples, it said best practices for accuracy. So it helps the accuracy a little bit if you move it up and it's on one of the sides, it helps it. But like we mentioned, as your heart rate gets higher, it becomes a little less accurate. And on average, it's off by about 20 beats per minute. Going back to your original question, saying why do people only buy it for active reasons, that's why we focused on the Charge HR and the Surge, because those products are marketed to people who want to lose weight and want to monitor for more active reasons. There are other Fitbits that track sleep patterns, and they just focus on that more.
And what are the consequences of being off by 20 beats a minute?
With the scrutiny in the market and the lawsuit, the plaintiffs have alleged that, as you guys know, that with a heart rate monitoring technology that doesn't accurately do so, if one of your consumers doesn't do their due diligence and ends up buying the product and they have a heart condition or something along those lines, and they're using it solely to use it as a heart rate monitoring technology, as their physical activity goes up, so does their heartbeat. And if it's not showing, if it's 20 beats per minute under the heart rate that they want, and that's maybe the limit that they can do with their condition, then it's going to basically cause harm to that consumer because it's not accurate. With them not doing due diligence, that's the issue you're running into with the lawsuit, that you didn't state it was a medical grade device, and you didn't want consumers to think that, but with the way your marketing and advertising is perceived, many people do think that it's going to be on the dot and they're going to be able to know exactly what their heart rate is. So go ahead.
I'm sorry, you go, please.
I was just going to say there is a potential for harm, though there haven't been any cases where someone has been harmed by your products yet.
Luckily. And I'm sorry.
Your recommendation assumes that consumers will thoroughly read the material such that they will understand that and that will be operational in how they relate to the product.
Well, with your products, you actually include a manual that is very, very small. That's very hard to read for me. And it states in there best practice for accuracy, and it also has an arbitration clause in there. The thing is, you guys need to be more honest about how the accuracy of your Pure Pulse technology. It just needs to be more evident in your marketing and advertising, because it's not at all right now.
Isn't the fundamental ethical challenge of the product is that it doesn't function in any way responsibly related to health monitoring by people who are using it in exercise? Isn't that the fundamental problem we have, the ethics of the product delivery as opposed to what we're saying about the product? In other words, we can fix the marketing, but people will still use it in many of the ways that you described, and so we'll still have the risk of physical harm, and it won't be a reliable partner for their health advancement, which is really what the whole meaning of our product is about. So even if we clean up our marketing messaging, don't we still have a fundamental ethical problem of our product under delivering against its implicit promise?
Exactly, and that's why we believe that right now it's important to change the marketing so that the consumer understands the limitations of this product, while Fitbit continues to invest in their research and development and better their products over time.
Should we even have a heart rate feature until it's accurate? And what's accurate? How do you define accuracy?
I believe, so the study that was done that claimed your products as inaccurate was compared with the chest strap and EKG. None of the products on the market are close enough to be considered comparable to the EKG. It's with with the lawsuit at hand and the way things panned out, it's really fell on your company's lap, as I stated before. Many of the other companies don't have reliable products as they might claim. It's more or less something along the lines of your product marketing and advertising needs to be switched to be able to convey that there is, not that there is inaccuracies with the product, but that it may not be comparable to the EKG or chest strap to be able to show that to consumers.
If we lose this lawsuit, what's our exposure and what's our total sales?
We don't have that information at the time. We can definitely go back with our colleagues and get that information to you. We don't have that at the time being for this presentation, but we believe that the exposure is that you could lose a lot of the market share, as you might already have seen with the share price going down, and with many other companies coming in and seeing this as an opportunity to grow. We believe that we need to get you on track, and if you do lose, we haven't devised the plan going forward with that, but we will work with you as a company to be able to get you on track if that is the case.
You know, as members of the board, we all have our Fitbits, and we take them everywhere we go. I assume that when consultants come in to present to us, you all use Fitbit products, right? You're wearing them now?
I'm not wearing mine right now,
Not at the
though I do
moment.
have one.
Well, I would certainly expect that everybody at the University of St. Thomas would have a Fitbit next time you come back. So what has happened to our sales? I mean, look, you can look at market data all over the place. Markets operate to their own beat. But what about sales? How are we doing?
You have had a decrease in sales, clearly, just because the fact that people see the lawsuit and see the negative news, they don't completely read into it. They just see the headline saying that Fitbit Pure Pulse technology is not as accurate as they claim. So they're going to go to other competitors, find different devices until we figure out this problem with you as a company to be able to convey to the consumers that you are the trustworthy company that everyone believes you to be, and that you do provide products with the accuracy that you believe to be true for the consumers and be able to provide that to them. So with regards to sales, like I said, we don't have exact numbers right now, but they have declined significantly since the lawsuit was released and people
Well,
are...
what is that message that we're sending to the public if we all of a sudden say, you know, all those things we told you about the virtues of our products, forget about all that stuff. That's not true.
We're saying don't necessarily change your marketing and advertising so it's not competitive. We're saying avoid phrases such as know your hearts and best practices for accuracy. Instead of a $5,000 medical grade device, use our product. You can still stay competitive while being a little more careful with your advertising and marketing to avoid legal risks and still stay profitable, but
And
also stay
that's going to solve all our problems?
We hope so.
How many competitors have introduced products since our legal issue was filed?
I believe that we haven't done extensive research on every company that's come out, but there's been a lot of companies that have already been established. So say companies like Garmin, who already have many other product lines, but they saw this isn't the opportunity for growth because they do have many other lines, and this is just something on the side that they can see they can get into and be able to create a product and be able to be successful with it while you guys are dealing with the lawsuit.
Why don't we disable the Heart Plus technology until the R&D has upgraded it to some level of reliability? How central is it to our product sales plans?
It's essential.
It's certainly a possibility that we can go that they can go down that route. However, it is the Fitbit Charge HR specifically that is leading the company in sales, and so losing that.
And that has multiple features.
Yep.
Correct.
So I'm asking do you have any sense of the impact on sales if we were to remove that functioning and the claims related to that?
I mean, being that it is our number one, it is Fitbit's number one selling product, and it is one of the two products that has the heart rate technology, it'd be safe to assume that this would be a critical feature that would be missed, and it would result in reduced sales.
Are other features accurate, like the step tracker and whatever else we do? Are they within 20% or are they more accurate?
So we really focused around the heart rate monitoring technology specifically for this, as you requested, due to the fact that there are many other many other features with the products that it would take extensive research for us and a lot of time to be able to figure out exactly the differences there. But because this case was specifically directed at the Pure Pulse technology and only directed towards the heart rate monitoring, we really stuck that route to be able to focus just on this.
Has that case been resolved?
It is still currently in the works right now. As you're aware, it is still pending and a lot of the details have yet to come out. So we'd really like to help you along the way so that you essentially don't lose the case and we can take that step forward with you to be able to move you.
So you're making your recommendations based on the allegations by the plaintiff?
Sorry?
The plaintiff says that it doesn't work. Well, we say it does. Isn't that what lawsuits are for?
Well, there are studies. There is a study conducted that shows it's off 20 beats per minute. And it's hard to, at this point of the case, to know what is going to happen at this point. But we truly believe that if you're more transparent, it will definitely help your case.
But let's dig a little deeper. I mean, where'd that study come from? From the plaintiffs?
It did, actually. It was financed by the plaintiffs, wasn't it?
So the study was done by the California State Polytechnic University, and the Shareholders Foundation was the first plaintiff with the initial lawsuit, and from that, many other foundations and groups have filed a lawsuit, so it's been combined into one class action.
But the study itself was financed by the plaintiffs, wasn't it?
Correct. Okay. Yes.
Are any of the other heart rate monitoring companies being sued for inaccuracy, or just us?
Just Fitbit at the current time being.
Because the others are more accurate than us, or because our claims are broader than their claims? Does anybody else claim to be like a chest strap or an EKG?
Not that we're aware of. I mean, obviously, Fitbit is the market share leader, so more attention is drawn to Fitbit, but it also doesn't help that Apple and Samsung and Garmin are also a little bit more accurate than Fitbit as well.
And part of the reason it happened as well is because it relates directly to your IPO. It's the plaintiffs allege that you and the officers of Fitbit had made materially misleading claims prior to, stating it as a competitive advantage having Pure Pulse technology, which none of the other companies did. They didn't state that it was a competitive advantage for them. So it's seen as an unfair practice in competition to state that, you know, this product is the competitive advantage we have. Come by and invest in our products. And then with the study being released that it is a little less inaccurate than some other products, we believe that to be the reason that they filed it against your company.
But we understand our product to be a competitive advantage. It does work. There are certain circumstances in the application by the consumer that compromises some of its accuracy. Is that a correct statement?
The study was done monitoring the heart rates during physical activity, intervals of physical activity. So the product is much more accurate when tracking steps, as you said, just regular, without raising your heart rate, trying to exercise, trying to perhaps lose weight.
Does our materials also indicate that the product shouldn't be used for high-intensity physical activity without consulting a physician?
Yes.
It states in the terms of services, kind of very deep in there, which you would hope that the consumers do their due diligence, which I'm sure a lot of us are aware that many consumers don't read through all the terms of services, which is why we made the recommendation to be able to kind of show in marketing and advertising that it's not to be compared with an EKG and a medical grade device, but rather take that next step and be able to convey that to the consumers that, you know, it's not a medical grade device, but it still functions as the consumer might want it to.
So let's just pick a number. There are 10 million of these devices out there that we've already sold with those warranties, with those representations. Do we have to now recall those products, pull them off the market?
It really depends what happens with the case and what ends up happening there, but we don't believe, due to the fact that it was in the terms of services and it may be a problem of consumer due diligence, that they didn't see that it wasn't a medical grade device, that we don't believe they're going to have to be recalled and put back on the market. That's something that we would work with you as a company in going forward, seeing what happens next in the case and when all the details are released. We were limited in our research to what we were able to find due to the fact that the case still is pending, so we did what we could with the materials that we had.
So your advice is don't do anything until this case is over?
We believe you should take our recommendation into consideration and follow through with this, though we don't have for you right now, and we can work on that going back to our colleagues, what you should do in regards to compensating consumers and shareholders.
Does the 20-point difference in its reporting, is that always higher, lower? Does it overestimate the
It was-
activity? Does it underestimate the activity?
That was just the average difference. It could be higher or lower. That was just the average beats that were off.
Have we done any in-house tests, and do we have any internal claims towards accuracy in our own studies?
So you, in the statement that you released in an article, you mentioned that it wasn't the medical grade device, though you believe it is as accurate as you claim it to be. So there were a little bit of conflicting differences with what we found, though with the research and development, we think that doing your own studies, conducting your own studies, and relaying that to the public, we think that the accuracy should be where it's at with the research and development that you will conduct. And taking that forward, we think that it will help the situation.
We have about 2 more minutes.
Could we hire a third party, someone who does testing of consumer products to validate our claims?
Most definitely, and that's something we would like to work with you as well. Part of the recommendation with the research and development, it's really how us working with you, how we want to go about doing that. The research and development could include a third party, and they can come in and be able to do that for your company.
How much of our growth in our market leader role has been a function of the product, and how much has been a function of our marketing about the product?
We believe that it's a little bit of both. Fitbit, like we were mentioning before, Apple, Samsung, Garmin, they all have other products. Fitbit's a leader because this is what they focus on. So that
We don't have specific numbers for you at this moment. However, I do believe that it is a mix of both of the actual capabilities as well as our marketing that has made the product successful.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Take a deep breath, guys.